Hello, art students. Today we're going to be working on a doodad, a D-O-O-D-A-D. It is a thing that you create that's not like a normal shape. Today we're going to be focusing on a circular doodad, so it's made out of a circle. That's the first shape that we'll use, first design line that we'll use. I have a little bit of a stuffy nose, a little bit of congestion, so please bear with me if my voice sounds different or anything like that. So start off with a circular doodad. You have to make a circle. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to use any kind of template or circle tool to make this because I'm going to freehand it, so that way you can see how to do it without having to use any kind of template or a bowl or a circle tool. So you can just do these kind of anytime you want. So first thing you do, because it's a circle, you start out making a big circle. Next with the doodad is you want it to divide it up. We're going to use a loop line, a loop-de-loop line. Starts from the bottom, comes up, loops, goes back up. And that's going to separate it into three parts, 1, 2, 3. The whole point of the doodad is to create a design that takes a circle and separates it into different pieces uniquely. So you're not just cutting it like a pie. You're not just cutting it apart in a normal straight way. So next, line up like that. And then I'm going to put two lines. You can use any space you want, but you have to separate this big space here into two more pieces. So one line, two line. Now, again, you can put lines anywhere you want. You don't have to copy me directly. I'm going to put another line here, and then I'm going to take two lines. I'm going to divide one of these pieces again. Then I'm going to take another line. That's my second line. Pick another place to divide. And the whole point is that you constantly separate and divide. Now, I've been using pretty much straight lines. You can also use zigzags, you can use wavy, and you can use curve lines. You can actually use more loops if you want. They create a lot of pieces, so I try not to use them too much. So I'm going to take a zigzag and go from this point, go straight to the bottom. You don't have to. You can choose a different type of line if you want. I'm just going to use a zigzag because it's unique. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make another zigzag that divides this piece up. And again, the whole point is that you separate the circle into different pieces. So I'm going to use a wavy line here, straight line here. And you can copy me or you can come up with your own ideas on how to divide these things. It doesn't really matter to me. And we just keep on making smaller pieces. Now in the center of the loop, you can leave it alone, or what you can do is you can come back and add a shape to it. I'm going to put a triangle in the middle. I just like triangles. I think they're visually interesting and they look cool. So there we go. This is my basic doodad. Now after this point, and you've created the line work, the next part is you take colors. And the whole point is to use only a limited amount of colors so that you have to repeat the colors. I generally choose 10, but if you only want to use 8, if you only want to use 5, doesn't really matter. The whole point is that when you color, you don't let the same color touch. So if I use that type of blue-green there, then I can't use the blue-green right beside of it again. So like I couldn't do that blue-green, I couldn't do that blue-green, that one, that one, that one. None of these pieces right around it, I could use the blue-green again. So I'm going to pick this red. And the main point is that you pick enough colors to where you have to repeat them, but you don't pick so few colors that it goes crazy with the exact same color over and over and over again. And you never let the same color touch. That's the big thing. Because then it looks too much like all the same. You definitely don't want that happening. You got to kind of think about where you're placing things. Because like if I place this pink here and I want to use the pink right beside of it later, I got to make sure that that doesn't happen. That the pink has some kind of separation. You can leave certain places white. I don't advise you to. But if you would like to leave a couple of places white, just to make it visually interesting, you can. So, but that's up to you. I'm trying to color this fairly quickly. So far, I've got 5 colors. And again, you can use any amount of colors you really want, as long as, like I said, you don't go too crazy and won't have enough repeated colors, because you at least want each color to repeat, once or twice. If it repeats more than that, cool. That means you've got plenty of space. So I'm up to 6 colors, and we'll do one more. And I'll do this one. And some of the colors are similar, but because they're not the exact same, it's okay. So like, I've got 2 greens that are similar, but they're not the exact same green, as you can see. Like if you look right here, they're close, but they're not 100% exactly the same. 2 colors that are close to the same, that's okay. 2 colors that are exactly the same, that doesn't work. So I'm going to start repeating colors now. And usually I would plan this out by numbering them, but I'm not doing that. I'm just winging it. I'm just bouncing around, just doing whatever I can do. So I'm going to use this pink here. And you want to stay in your lines as best as possible. Doesn't really matter the order you go, like when you're coloring. You just want to try to make sure your coloring is nice and consistent, which means it looks really smooth. I'm going to switch to the other end so I can color this faster. Is it going to be perfect? No, but it's okay. Just as long as I try to stay in my lines. And because I'm doing this on video, I'm trying to go faster than I normally would. Normally, I would try to slow down a little bit. Now, here's something. We have this red here. I'm going to place this red here. They're close, but again, they're not touching, which is what you want. You want to make sure that the same color does not touch at all. Because again, if you have a bunch of lines, they're almost all the same color touching, it doesn't work as good. It doesn't look as good. It's not as interesting. So I've got that. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the triangle over here, red, and get that there. And then I'm going to bounce over here and do this piece over here, red as well. And I think I'm going to stop with my reds now. And if you get confused, like I said, what I would normally do is I can number it ahead of time, so I know exactly which is going to be blue, which is going to be red, which is going to be green, and it really helps to get everything planned out. Now, I didn't do it for this just because I want it to go faster. So I'm going to do a couple more pieces while I talk, And then I think you'll get the general idea of how all this works. There's some of this yellow on here. See, I got that yellow there, so I can't do yellow there. I can do yellow there, but I don't want to do yellow there because see these points right here, they're so close. So I'm going to move down here to this part to do yellow. Like if the tips just barely get too close, don't put them together. So like they're not technically touching, but they're close enough. I'm going to throw some orange right here. I'm going to put the orange. I got orange up there, so I'm going to put the orange right here. And again, normally, like I would try to make sure I have every little piece colored. There was no little white specks anywhere, but I'm trying to move fast to get through this, so I can eventually show you a finished piece. And I'm sure I'll have a finished piece attached somewhere for you to look at. And you can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, you can use pastels, I mean, if you really wanted to, as long as you keep the lines nice and crisp, because you gotta make sure the lines are nice and show up really bold. If they don't, then you can run into an issue. Now see, I've got this orange here. Can't use orange there, can't use orange there, can't use orange there. I can only use orange in one more place, and that's up here. So this is going to be my last piece of orange, will be right up here. Again, you got to avoid having the same colors touch, and that can be really difficult sometimes. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and end the video, so I believe most of you have a good idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to finish this up, and I'll have it attached up on the canvas along with this video, so you can see what the final product looks like. So this is the first part of the doodad. There's actually 3 different ways you can do it, 3 different parts, and I'll be going through all 3 of those. So thank you. Hope you learned something. Have a great day. Stay safe.